following video is not affiliated with any support groups, religions, treatment centers, or institutions. This is an editorial and is not medical advice. Enjoy. Okay, today's question, it comes from Wayne from the YouTube channel One Sober to Another. Thanks for this question, Wayne. I really appreciate it. And the question is, what was it like for the other people in your life that suffered from your disease? Great question, very pertinent. And I'm going to take 1 minute, as I normally do, to answer the question. Addiction, recovery. You guys know the question. I know the question. We're going to start the timer right now. So first off, very important. You've just gotten clean. You've just gotten sober, and you have a wave of guilt. Well, there's a spiritual solution to that. If you're into spirituality, there's ways of getting rid of that. When you're thinking about all those other people, well, eventually you are going to be able to mend those bridges. Some of them, well, unfortunately, you might not. So what's the deal? What do you do, right? And what I want to say is just be patient. Practice patience, and spirituality can provide you that patience, right? Because all these people that were around when you were in your active addiction, well, they might be hurt. And the first thing to do is to work on yourself. That is the way. Build your spiritual foundation. Because if you just get on the phone and you call up all of your people that you've hurt, you might be hurting them more. And that's a really important thing to learn. And I'm out of time. All right, now it's time for me to grade and evaluate what I just said, and I really want to thank Wayne from the YouTube channel One Sober to Another. Of course, I've linked that YouTube channel in my description. Check him out. So, I think I did okay in this answer. It was a little bit scattered, like I am sometimes. So, I don't think I focused too much on the person that was hurt in addiction. When someone is hurt by another addict in active addiction, I really didn't dig into that. I was focusing a little bit too much on the addict. So how do you find out what it was like for someone when you were in active addiction? Well, the first step is to go through a process of self-examination with the help of others. That's what I would recommend. I mean, it's not for everyone. There's so many different ways to enter into recovery from addiction or sobriety. So this is my experience and what I recommend, right? So with the help of others, you might find the harm that you did, right? It wouldn't be by going up and interviewing the person that you harmed and say, hey, when I was in active addiction, can you please tell me all these awful things that I did? Or I knew that I did this and I want to apologize. I want to say I'm sorry. That I don't recommend, right? What the best thing to do would be with a support group, with some, maybe recovery reading, or maybe with the mentorship of someone else who's been through what you've been through, or maybe with a psychologist or a spiritual care practitioner. I do work with people where I kind of look at their past and help them kind of look at past relationships, and they look at mending relationships. Mend yourself first. That's the best way to mend a relationship. Time, it's not necessarily a big deal. You can do it in patiently. It doesn't have to happen right away. So with all that support and help that I always say, have balance, get that support and help. Look at your side, what you did, how you hurt someone else in your active addiction first. Heal yourself, mend yourself. Then you can heal the rift between you and them. You can attempt to do that if it is safe to do so, right? You can say, this is what I did, right? And then if that works and you heal that rift, right? And through this, if you're a spiritual person, you can be doing spiritual things, prayer, meditation, all those things to help the process along for yourself. And then you can create new boundaries with the person, because you say, this is what I did in the past, right? So let's work out some new boundaries of this relationship. This is redefining our relationship as it was, right? This was the past, but now for the future, let's see this is the way we want our new relationship to work. Then, with advice from your supports, also, you might run into some people where it might not be a good idea for you, or it might not be a good idea for them to have contact with you. There might be legal things. This person might be a former drug colleague of some sorts. It might be dangerous for you or them. So that's why I have a robust, balanced group of people supporting you before you make decisions. Talk about past relationships, because if indeed you have a debt to someone from the past that's still involved in active addiction, it might be a back door to pull you back out into active addiction. Or you might have hurt someone bad enough that it's going to be hard for them to talk to you, for them to kind of relive. You might re-traumatize some people, right? So that's, I think, covering everything that Wayne asked in this question, and really good, thoughtful question, Wayne. I really appreciate it. Thanks for you and for your inquiry from one sober to another. I appreciate it. So now it's time for me to grade myself, and I think that I cleaned up pretty good, but my answer was, it needed a little work. So again, I'm going to be in the low 60s out of 100. And I think that that deserves a pair of socks, you know, the kind that you get as a present. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to wear these socks. Absolutely. I wanted something else, but sure, I'll take the socks. Absolutely. And I'm going to give myself I'll just give myself 3 of those caramel candies that you get from senior citizens, from older folks, that they think is a nice treat. And you really wish that they were something like maybe Lifesavers or Skittles, but they have those gross brown, disgusting caramel candies. So I'll give myself 3 of those, not even a whole package, because I'm sure, you know, having a whole package of them might be useful. You could put them out on a counter in a weird crystal bowl, and you could channel your inner old folk yourself. So that's my video for today. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I appreciate the question. Again, Wayne from One Sober to Another. Check out his channel. And if you have any more questions, a follow-up question to anything that I've ever done, just throw it in the comments. You know, you can find me on Instagram, ask me questions there. Find me on Reddit. You might find me there. And I love questions. Continue to ask them. Thanks so much, and you'll see me in another video, and have a wonderful day until then. Thank you. There's plenty more videos for you to watch linked right here.